Today, we're going to talk about a framework I developed called Do It, Document It, Delegate It. And I'm actually going to borrow a prop for this. So, if you're in the US, you might recognize this. It's a United States trademark because I actually patented Do It, Document It, Delegate It. Or I guess trademarked is the right way to say that. So you can see it. The reason is I was saying this so much in all my presentations, and it was a really natural way to describe why and when you might document something. Because when people take on this project of documentation, sometimes they don't make it to the finish line. And the reason for that most likely is one of two things. First, you're doing something inconsistently. That means you're still in this experimentation mode where every day or every time you're trying it a little bit differently because you're still trying to figure out what works. And if that's where you are in your business for any particular task, then now is not the time to document that task. And the reason is that you'll document it and a week later it'll be irrelevant or you'll need to redo it. And I don't want you to waste time. The reason why you document something is so that you can delegate that thing. And a lot of people, unfortunately, will delegate things before they're documented, and that's the other reason that this fails. If you try to give someone poor instructions and ask them to do something, but you haven't created that expectation of what to do, it's a recipe for disaster. So when you think through the things in your business that you're creating documentation for, follow this framework. Think, do I do it consistently? And if the answer is yes, have I documented it clearly? And if the answer is yes, then you can delegate it confidently. So that's the framework that I teach people. That's the reason that I trademarked it. I keep saying it wrong, but hopefully that makes some sense on thinking about what in your business you should document, because you should not do everything all at once. You should only do the things that you're actually ready to document. So when you start documentation, there's going to be a few different ways that you do it. The simplest might just be text. You might create a Word doc and write down the instructions for how to do what you do. And that is great for a lot of things, especially if they're detail oriented, like policies in your business. If you want to make it a little more interactive, you can use screenshots and add some graphics or some other elements to that text so that it's a little bit more descriptive, a little bit more visual. The next thing you might do is a screen recording. So using a screen recording tool like the one in Trainual, you can capture what's going on your screen and the user can watch what you're doing as if they're doing it themselves. That's a great way to teach someone how to do something. Regular video like this is another way to communicate, and sometimes just opening up your camera or turning on your webcam is the best way to explain something. This is great for things that are more personal, like a story you want to share or maybe talking about your core values. And then don't forget, make it fun. So use animated GIFs, use images, use fun things that are representative of your culture and your brand. Okay, so what if you don't know what to document? First, you want to just think about all the things on your plate, all the things on your to-do list. And the way that I recommend you do that is first look back through all of your sent mail over the last couple weeks. It's a very specific recommendation, but if you look at the emails that you've actually sent in your sent mail folder, you'll see the messages, the communication that you're engaging with. Whereas if you look in your inbox, there's a ton of chaos in there and most things you might ignore. But if you look at your sent mail, these are the things that people are asking you for, that you are responding back to and delivering. And every one of those is an indicator of a task that you might do in the business. The next thing you can do is look at your calendar. Go back over the last few weeks, or even better, looking ahead at the end of each day, adjust your calendar for what you actually did through the day, not the aspirational appointments or time blocks that you put on the calendar. So as you start to understand the things that are on your plate, the next thing you want to do is understand what should come off your plate. So here is your task or your action for the day. Thinking about documentation and all the ways I just described it, pick one thing that you would like to get off of your plate, that you'd like to delegate, and know that your next step is to document it. So take that one thing and get to it. Document step by step how you do that one thing, either in video, a screen recording, or text. And don't forget to make it fun.